guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Valencia versus Barcelona in La Liga. We are now entering the final stretch of the first part of the season before the World Cup, and after, of course, a big disappointment midweek with Barcelona crashing out the Champions League, the team needs to bounce back in the league, where, of course, winning it is a priority, and we have a tough game away against a tough team as well, and the 3 points are very much needed. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 9 p.m. local time, so regular kickoff time in La Liga, and this match will be taking place at the Mestalla. Of course, very difficult stadium, one of the most historic stadiums in the league. Over the past few years, though, we have gotten positive results there, but you never know there. The atmosphere is crazy, and on paper, it is a very difficult stadium to go to, of course. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the pitch, it will be Ricardo de Borges, and on the VAR, it will be Iglesia Villanueva. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table. Barcelona are currently sat in second place in La Liga on 28 points. After playing 11 matches, we do have 9 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. And if you look at our last 5 games in the league, it is, of course, 4 wins and that 1 loss coming in the Clasico to, of course, Real Madrid, who are in first place on 31 points. We are 3 points behind the league leaders. We do have a 5-point cushion on third place Atletico Madrid, who are on 23 points. Then there's a 6-point cushion on fourth place Real Sociedad. So that gap between second and third is slowly but surely growing. Again, it will give us some wiggle room, but it's the fact that the top and second is still only 3 points, meaning there's no room to slip up for Barcelona. Now, if you look at the top teams that they'll be facing this weekend, Atletico Madrid will travel to Cadiz, Real Madrid will host Girona, and Real Sociedad will host Betis. That's probably the game of the weekend, alongside Villarreal versus Athletic Club, Valverde versus Etienne. Look forward to that one on Sunday. But look at Real Madrid, they're facing Girona at home. That should be probably the easiest 3 points of their life, which means we've got to win. No matter what, if we slip up, it will give Madrid more momentum, give them the advantage. So we have to keep up and wait for them to slip up first. If we slip up first, it'll give them a huge advantage. It'll give them confidence as well. And if we slip up first as well, it will knock our confidence and kill our mentality a lot as well. So Barcelona, huge 3 points here to keep up with Real Madrid. And you never know, maybe our Catalonia friends down the road, Girona, can do us a favor. Now, if you take a look at our opponents in Valencia and where they're currently standing in the league table, they are currently sat in 9th place in La Liga on 15 points. After playing 11 matches, they have 4 wins, 3 draws, and 4 losses. But if you look at the last 5 games in the league, 3 draws, 1 loss, and 1 win. So overall this season they're doing okay, but on recent form they haven't been too good. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Valencia. Like I just mentioned, so far in La Liga they're doing fairly okay for their level. They should be probably higher, probably pushing for those European spots, 8, 7, 6, somewhere around there. But again, a recent form for them has been very poor. Now, the last time we faced them last season was actually at the Mestalla, where we did win 4-1. Of course, it was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's first hat-trick for the club. I think it was his first goal for the club as well in this match. If you look at the lineup, we still have the same personnel, just take away Aubameyang and Dest, and that's pretty much the same team that we already have right now. So again, similar style that we played in the last game could easily be replicated in this match. But of course, at this time as well, Valencia were on a down low. I think their manager did get sacked afterwards in this match. They did get a goal, of course, of Carlos Soler, and they were on top. Remember that first half, they had a lot of chances. I remember Jose Gaya missing a sitter, but in the end, Barcelona did walk away comfortably with those 3 points. And if you take a look at Valencia's last 5 matches in all competition, in their last match, they lost at home to Real Mallorca 2-1. They drew 1-1 with Sevilla, drew 2-2 with Elche, they beat Osasuna 2-1, and they also drew with Espanyol 2-2. So let's now take a look at those last 3 games. Firstly, the 2-2 draw against Elche. Now again, this is being at home, so this is a poor result for them. They played this match in the 4-3-3 system. Of course, being the home team, they did dominate. Their new striker, Edinson Cavani, getting a brace, but in the end, it wasn't enough to walk away with the 3 points. Next up, away at Sevilla, Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, 1-1 draw. To be honest, that does favor them. And look at the tactics that their manager went with. 5-4-1. I would expect a similar formation in this match for us as well, because again, Valencia against the bigger teams, the top 6, top 5, they tend to park the bus, which, to be honest, you can't blame them. And in the end, they did walk away with a fairly positive result against Sevilla, who, of course, the season had not been that great. But lastly, their last match, of course, a loss at home to Real Mallorca. That is a poor result. I watched the game of this match as well, and I tell you what, Valencia, they were on top, but Mallorca, few counterattacks, they were clinical, and Valencia weren't. But in this match, they played more advanced in the 4-3-3 formation. I believe Nico Gonzalez gave away a penalty as well in this match, which was unfairly. He did get the ball first, but VAR lackluster for everyone. But again, a very, very poor result for Valencia, losing out on all 3 points. So overall, final thoughts on Valencia. Look, on paper, they have a decent squad, but they're not doing too well so far this season, and they are being managed by their new manager, Gattuso, of course, one of the best, DMs of all time. I think as a coach, he's pretty average. I wouldn't say he's great, wouldn't say he's poor. I would say he's average. Of course, his team's playing style reflects on how he played as a player. Very, very defensive against the top teams. Sometimes he goes for it against, the mid-tier, lower teams, but still a very defensive-minded team that he wants to implement at Valencia. Now, players to look out for, there is quite a few. Firstly, their goalkeeper, I cannot pronounce his name. It's some long name, but he has done very, very good this season. He's probably one of the best young goalkeepers in the world. Gabriel Palis as a center back, very strong. Jose Gal, of course, we've been linked with thousands of times. He's very good, as we all know. Not a new contract. He ain't coming to Barcelona. The right back, Thierry Correa, he's done very well for them this season. Now, of course, there is Nico. Now, Valencia can play, to my understanding, but Xavi will talk about this in the press conference, Nico can play for Valencia, but they probably won't use him, because if they do play him, they have to give a bonus to Barcelona, so most likely they'll sacrifice him for this match. Elias Mariba, of course, from a Barcelona player, but I believe he is injured, so this is just something for the future, I guess. Yunus Musa, their midfielder, he does very, very well, can also play on the wing. Their new signing, Andrea Almeida, in the midfield as well, he's done very good for them this season. But watch out for their new front two. Firstly, on the wing, on the left-hand side, is of course Justin Kluivert. I believe he's on loan from Nice or somewhere in France. He's done well this season, and of course the main threat, the face of the club at the moment, Edison Cavani. Despite the fact he's 35 years old and finished against Barcelona, he always turns up. So again, Valencia as a team are very, very strong on their day. Their day has not come a lot this season, but at home against a big club, they usually tend to turn up. The question is, will they be clinical and perform well on the pitch or not? I'd watch out, of course, for their defensive formation. I think Gattuso will go with a 5-4-1. Again, Barcelona create chances, and you've got to finish them if you're wasteful. Valencia can be very, very threatening and can be very clinical on the counterattack. Let's now take a look at the squad list. The squad list for this match has been released and confirmed, and it is as follows: Ter Stegen, Bellerin, Pique, Busquets, Dembele, Pedri, Lewandowski, Ansu Fati, Varane, Alonso, Alba, Kessie, De Jong, Raphinha, Kounde, Eric Garcia, and Naki Peña, Balde, Gavi, Pablo Torre, and Arnau Tenes. From the last squad list, no changes whatsoever. Still no Memphis Depay and Andreas Christensen, but Xavi does give an update in his press conference. Of course, Roberto and Araujo do have long-term injuries. So other than that, no other surprises. Time now to get into Xavi's press conference reaction. His press conference this morning, of course, he was asked a lot of questions from the media, mainly about, of course, the Bayern Munich matches coming up, World Cup, transfers, injuries, Nico, a lot of updates. Let's get and see what he had to say during the press conference. Also by saying that Valencia will be intense and aggressive. The 3 points will be very, very important, and Gattuso is a very defensive-minded coach. We got to look out for that. With the 4 midfielder, we do have more control on the pitch. We have more possession. Using it or not, though, will depend on our opponent. And many moments we need to pause and calm, and we have to talk about that after the Bayern Munich game. I've told the players that we have to change our minds. The Champions League has been a series of misfortunes. We had options and personality, but it escaped us. We have to turn the page and think about La Liga. I'm still positive the Champions League is a blow, but there are other competitions left, and we can still have a great season. I often talk with the president. We travel together, and we always see each other before and after the match. We still have 4 competitions left to compete in, which must be fight for each and every single title. Of course, we don't have the Champions League, which we have competed in, but in the end, it wasn't enough. Now he was asked about Nico, how he's doing at Valencia, and also if he can play against Barcelona. He said, we're following Nico a lot. He's maturing, and the system is going well for them there. He participates, but he still has competition, because we are talking about a team like Valencia that do have very good players. And he's asked about the Nico Gonzalez clause. Look, I think it's good that he cannot play against us, and we don't want him to harm us. It's a good decision by the club. So Xavi is claiming that Nico cannot play whatsoever. But there are reports saying that if he does play, I think Valencia do have the option, but they have to pay a fee. Same thing for Abdi as well. So if we face Osasuna, Abdi cannot play, but if they do play him, Osasuna have to play a clause for Barcelona. I think those are the only two loan players that have that clause. Is it asked about January signing? He said, look, we haven't even got to December yet. It's too early to think about that. But the sport administration is working, but right now it's too early to talk about this. Then he's asked about the sporting product, saying that, look, I still feel confident on this project. This season goal is to win titles. We of course lost in the Champions League, and now we have to bear the criticism, but internally there are no doubts. I had the confidence of the president, and I must continue my work. He was then asked about the World Cup coming up and how this will technically be 2 seasons. He said, look, it's true, there are basically 2 seasons in one. You stop for a month and a half with the World Cup, and it's a very weird season that no one has experience in. We'll have to adapt the best way possible. Then asked about Pablo Torre, of course, him getting minutes. He said, look, he plays very well. He's a strong player. He plays between the lines, and he can shoot as well, and he will definitely play as time goes on because we do trust him a lot. Then he was asked again about the project, saying that, look, we are on the right path. The path cannot be changed, and we have to continue working, and the results will come. And if they don't, another coach will come in. So again, Xavi talking a lot about him possibly walking if, of course, we don't achieve anything, no titles. We'll have to wait and see on that. He was then asked about Alejandro Balde's performance, and by the way, Balde is apparently in the preliminary squad for the Spanish World Cup for the first team, so congrats to him. Gave out saying that, look, we don't have subs and starters in Barcelona. He's great, and he shows that every time that he plays, he is improving dramatically. Then asked about Pedri, saying that, look, he is happy, he participates well, he's an important player for us, he has everything to succeed here, but he must use his full potential, and he does that, and he also does it at a great level. Then he's asked about an injury update on Andreas Christensen and Memphis Depay. He said that, look, they are both almost ready. They will get some minutes against Victoria Pleasant on Tuesday, then hopefully more minutes against Almira on the weekend. So unfortunately, both players cannot make the squad list this weekend, but should be in that squad list for the Victoria Pleasant match, which of course we'll be traveling to. Then asked about Pablo Gavi's injury update as well. He said that, look, he's okay now. He still had a knock, and I rested him, although he wanted to play. Then asked about Lewandowski's participation and effectiveness in big matches. He said that, look, we have to keep working as a team, and we know what we have to improve upon. And finally, he was asked about Ansu Fati, Varane, and Raphinha, how if you play 4 midfielders, you have 3 world-class wingers on the bench. Is that really suitable for Barcelona? He said that, look, starting 4 midfielders in the last games make us play less winger, but they need to be ready to play as many minutes as they can get, whether it's at the half-an-hour mark, 50-minute mark, 60-minute, they always have to be ready. And that concluded Xavi's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Valencia tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best to predict his lineup. I think it will be very difficult to predict. We'll go with the forward midfield, change it up, stick with the same players. I have no idea, but this will be a big lineup selection for Xavi, and I think I'll go with this lineup on the screen right now. I think I'll go with Ter Stegen in goal, a back 4 of Kounde, Eric Garcia, Marcos Alonso, Alejandro Balde, midfield 3 of De Jong, Gavi, and Pedri, and a front 3 of Ousmane Dembele, Lewandowski, and Ferran Torres. I don't think Xavi will use a forward in midfield against Valencia. I think it is a big risk because you have to go on the attacking front, and they're going to play a 4-4-2 or a 5-4-1. Giving us more possession will not be effective, in my opinion, and hopefully I think Xavi thinks that as well. I think he will drop Bellerin after that stinker against Bayern Munich, and the rest of the back 5 will stay the same. I think he'll drop Busquets as well, bringing Gavi and start Pedri, have that that midfield 3 that did well against Villarreal and conquered Athletic Club as well. In the front 3, I have a feeling that he will start one of Ansu Fati or Varane. I think he'll go with Varane, and I think he'll start with Dembele, and of course Lewandowski up front, and that's not I think that Xavi Hernandez will select for this match, but of course let me know in the comments below what you think Xavi will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach, and I have made a few changes from Xavi's lineup, and I've gone with this lineup on the screen right now. I've gone with Ter Stegen in goal, a back 4 of Bellerin, Kounde, Eric Garcia, Alejandro Balde, midfield 3 of De Jong, Kessie, and Gavi, and a front 3 of Ousmane Dembele, Lewandowski, and Ansu Fati. So firstly in the back 5, I have brought in Bellerin for Alonso. I think Bellerin was just rusty against Bayern Munich. I don't think he's that bad, but he's not going to be, super great. But I think with minutes, he'll adapt. And of course, he has come back from being almost out for a month. So I'll give him another chance. And I think having a natural right back is so important. Again, 2 center backs and left back stay the same. In the midfield, I'm resting Pedri. I think he's played so many minutes. He looked absolutely gassed against Bayern Munich, or start Kessie and have Gavi. You could maybe form this as a double pivot and have Gavi as a number 10. Wouldn't mind that either. We had Memphis, that would have been great. We could play Memphis as a number 10 just behind Lewandowski, but don't have that option yet. And in the front three, I would go with Ansu Fati over Varane, simply on the fact of pace and explosion. I think dribbling wise, you could say Varane is better than Ansu Fati, and also going forward, but I think that pace of Ansu, that explosiveness will be so important to hit Valencia on counterattack and also attack them very strong down at back five, which I am expecting they're going to play. I think this lineup overall is better than Xavi's, but I'd be happy to see either lineup in my opinion. But that's the lineup that I would select for this match. But of course, let me know in the comments below, would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? I think it's going to be tight. I think it will be a close game with Valencia being at home, parking the bus as well, but Barcelona going for it. I think it will be tight. I would be shocked if Barcelona kept the clean sheet. I think we will win. I've gone with Barcelona to win this match by 2-1. I think a clean sheet in this match would be very, very, very difficult, especially with Cavani on good form at the moment. But I think Barcelona have enough to win this game. Again, we've seen us, drop points against Inter, that 1-0 loss to Bayern Munich, then go back in the league and bounce back. I think the problem with this one is that it's away from home in a big stadium as well. Usually when we lost to, I think, Inter and Bayern Munich, we put a home game right after that. This being away will be disadvantage to us in my opinion. But I think in the end, Barcelona will narrowly win it. Hopefully the motivation is there. But I think, again, defensively wise, we could be conceding a goal or two. But I think Barcelona will walk away with 3 points. And I've gone Barcelona winning this match by 2-1. But of course, let me know your score predictions down in the comments below. So that was my match preview for Valencia versus Barcelona in La Liga. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to firstly, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, whether I pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup, what do you think Xavi would go with? What would you go with, you the manager? Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. Follow after the match by match reviews. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead. It will give us that momentum or give us that fall for the last few games before the World Cup. Take care and Forza Barca. Yeah.